Hello there people of the internet, it's Needle here and welcome back to Lothric. I almost said Drang Lake, but that's totally wrong. I've been playing Dark Souls 2 the last few days. Anyway, last time I recorded an episode, we ran a little bit through the Farron Keep. I got the last, the last little scones thing we had to light. I did that, I speculated on what it might mean. And then I went through and got the next bonfire, parried the Black Knight. You guys missed that. I feel so gutted that I can't keep the footage. And then kind of made our way to the Abyss Watcher's door, but we didn't enter it. I'm glad we didn't because we'd have lost that fight completely. So I lost the footage because of the way OBS recorded it, and it was really annoying. But it's nothing too substantial. Like I said, we literally just lit a sconce, walked to the boss's front door and didn't bother challenging them, and walked away. It was a very short episode as well compared to what we're used to. So today we're going to go the opposite way from the Abyss Watchers. We don't want to fight them just yet. If you manage to defeat the Abyss Watchers and get through the next area, you hit a brick wall and you can't progress unless you have an item from another area. We're going to start heading towards that item today. I find the next two areas the most frustrating probably, so if we do them just now then they're out of the way, we don't need to worry about them. I have 16,000 souls and I have no idea how. That's right, I was going to decide how I was going to level up according to what weapon I was going to use. And I still haven't made a decision. It's okay, we can respec in the next area anyway. So, I've heard the twin daggers are pretty good, actually. Not too sure if I want to use dual wielding weapons. I've just started a playthrough on the PlayStation 4 Dark Souls 2 version where I'm using dual wielding maces, so don't know if I really want to throw myself into that. I can actually use them right now, I don't even need much investment. But we're just going to push strength, I think. It's the most common thing, and if you need something to fall back on, if you go for a strength weapon then it's good, because strength always wins everything. So, how many levels do we get? 2. That's fine. Yeah, okay. We're at equal things, so if we want to do a sort of quality weapon, we now can anyway. So that's fine with me. We don't have anything else to pick up, I don't think. Nope. So without further ado, let's head off to the most annoying part of the game, in my opinion. What I'm actually going to do, if we can check this, is +3. I don't know if we can upgrade this again. I'm actually going to see if I can upgrade this to +4. Just to be a little bit better. That's not what I meant to do. We don't have any large titanite. Okay, that's fine. No worries. Its damage is going to start leveling out about now. I think if you upgrade it all the way, it can actually run you quite far into the game, if not all the way through. But that's not what you want to do. So Farron Keep perimeter is where we ended up the last time. And we'll go back there again and I might give you a quick run through on how to get it. We want to go to... yeah, the halfway fortress. There's another bonfire in between the halfway fortress and where we're trying to get to, but we don't have that one yet. It's out in the middle of nowhere. So basically, last time we were playing, I lit the last scones heading towards the Abyss Watchers, and its etching is all 4 people in crowns. Now, it's possible that it could be the 4 kings, but it seems pretty unlikely considering there's only 3 sconces, and the other 2 show the Witch of Izalith and Neato. It's my opinion that the 3rd sconce, sorry, actually depicts Gwyn and his family. So, having that been Gwyn and his family, who is depicted in the picture? Well, in my opinion, it was Gwyndolin, Guinevere, and his wife. Because of course the firstborn was totally stricken from the annals, so he wouldn't be in that picture. And the Abyss Watchers have absolutely no knowledge of who he was, so therefore they couldn't actually make a picture of him because no one knows what he looks like. So, for me, that's the first real serious depiction we've had of Gwyn's wife in the series. We've never really had anything truly acknowledged as to who she is, and where she came from and stuff like that. She obviously had 3 kids with Gwyn, so they were either close or she was just a big part of his life. So, I find it weird that she doesn't really get any recognition at all. Titanite shard. So I started to kind of speculate on who she might be. Now, the only woman we've really had a lot of exposure to in the series but never really actually came into contact with is Velka. I know it's kind of wishful thinking, just try to tie everything up by saying, oh, it's got to be Velka, but I think there's reasons for thinking it's Velka. Like, I think in the original build of Dark Souls, well, she's associated with sin for the first thing, and in Dark Souls 1, the Sin Covenant was the Darkmoon Blades. Sorry, I'm all over the place currently. So it makes sense that she ran the Covenant, she became a rogue deity, left, and in her place... what the hell? In our place, she put her son in charge, Gwendolyn, and that's how we came to be the Darkmood Covenant. It also explains how, in my opinion, there's an NPC we haven't met yet. We're going to meet her later on, which has a lot in common with another NPC that we haven't actually seen since Dark Souls 1. And they're a very odd breed of people, should I say. Try to sound kind of as normal as possible there. Oh, the pike. The pike could actually be an option. Like, I never really considered using the pike ever. And then whenever I fought there's a boss that uses a pike in this game, and he's absolutely brutal with it. So the pike could be an option. We're not actually trying to just get away from these guys to the bonfire. The dog is going to chase us. Yeah, I was hoping just the dog would chase us. There we go. Should be... no. Okay, so we've got this guy to deal with. Dodging in this game is so weird to me now because I've been playing Dark Souls 2 and it works totally different in that game. Okay, so from this bonfire that you've seen us kind of walk to, we're going to start heading over to this big structure. That's where we're headed to. There's a couple of things in this whole area actually we should probably grab, so we'll do that first. Anyway, so yeah, she was in charge of the Sin Covenant, passed on to Gwendolyn. That's possibly a thing. Other than that, there's an NPC in this game who claims herself to be part of Gwyn's family, yet she has absolutely zero in common with them. She has something in common with another person in the series, and that person was associated with Velka and things just through her environment where she was. So that is my reasoning for why Velka seems to be at least a part of Gwyn's family, or was at some point, and that she is at the very least Gwendolyn's mother, in my opinion. So we got another Estus shard, that's nice. Right, so coming back around. Beware of these. Oh wait, they fell down there. They were over there, weren't they? You're coming in here, there's a guy with a lantern. Kill him quick. Don't give him the chance. Now watch out for these guys. They have two real main attacks. That one there where they fire 3 bolts super quick, and the more of a sort of Crystal Soul Spear effort where they just fire one giant blast at you. Both are pretty damaging if they all catch you, so careful. As you come through here, there's a guy on your right. You see him there. Don't let him catch you out. Or rather, don't let the constant tactic of ambush, ambush, ambush in Dark Souls 3 catch you out. And if you think it's bad right now, wait till we get to the next area. That's the home of ambushes in this game. This guy here is Orbeck.
Oh, this is unexpected. I don't often have visitors. What do you want? This is my study that you've happened upon. If you haven't any business, I've reading to get back to. How intriguing. You'd better not. Sorcerer and should never. You have your own methods. Don't let it bother you. Be on your way then. You're unkindled.
So basically, if you don't have a high enough intelligence stat, I think it's 10. It must be because I've got 9. So if you need 10 intelligence, or else he won't actually teach you sorceries. God damn it. If you're looking for a little bit of fun to have before you go away, fuck you, Orbeck. Teach me sorceries. It's always good fun if you're passing through this area just to come up and wreck his pile of scrolls. I don't think there's any way back. Yeah, okay. Right, so in here you can see we have a mage dude. He's also flanked by a lot of these guys. And this hole here. Don't fall down this hole, guys. There's a trap waiting for you. Although there's also some sorcery stuff waiting for you, so if you want to just say screw Orbeck for not teaching you, then you can do that. You want to kill this guy quick because there's his friend. And his friend is more inclined to use a soul spear. As you can see, I need to get him fast and hit him. Okay. I'm considering summoning for the next boss. Excuse my throat, I'm catching a bit of a cold here. Not because he's super difficult, although he's really frustrating for me for some reason, but actually because he is just really, really annoying. I really dislike him. He's probably my least favourite boss in the whole series, pushing it up there with a bed of chaos in my opinion, just because of how annoying I find the design of the fight to be. Basically, we're going to rush in here. This guy's going to rush us with magic. We're going to get as close as we can to him and beat him up until he teleports away. Once he does that enough times, he's going to summon copies of himself, and they're all going to be able to attack you with all the same damage, which I find completely stupid, because as soon as you turn your back on one, you get hit in the back off another, and then you're just getting absolutely covered in magic attacks and you die so fast. So I'm going to take the precaution and pop this, and that is going to let us summon Aegon, a good friend of Karim. In all fairness, by the way, he is possibly one of the worst summons ever, especially for this fight. He actually does absolutely nothing, but because he walks around, swings that hammer about, he draws some aggro off some of the copies, and that's literally all I need him to do. It's the only thing that bothers me about this fight. If those copies either didn't do as much damage, or there was less of them or something, it would just be much more normal, but as it stands, it's just really frustrating. This also happens, if what I think is happening right now. Yes, this exact thing, where he gets stuck on this wall and will not move. Yep. Don't know if there is a way to solve it. I've never found a way to solve it. So stupid. Not gonna move, buddy. I mean, sometimes he does. I think if you head all over the place, sometimes you can get him to move, but nah. Don't know why that happens, but we're gonna have to send him home. Okay, so we're on our own for this one. You'll see what I mean, because I probably will die and have to resummon Aegon. And I went, oh, we can summon some actual just random people. I don't want to do that though. Damn it, I was hoping there's a way you can do it where if you hit him at the right angle, he doesn't teleport, so I was just trying to see if I could make that work. Totally can't. Oh, I hate this attack. Oh. You can see what I'm talking about now. All these magic attacks are just building up. And it's just so annoying. Right, so now in this stage he's going to summon a bunch of copies, and they're all going to have blue magic and he'll have purple magic, so... Or we're just going to kill him before he can actually do it. That's the easiest fight I've ever had against him, oh my god. Okay, raw straight, I store a straight sword from now on, that's what's happening. So there you go, there's the Crystal Sage fight. If you kill him fast enough, it doesn't even summon his copies. You probably should have done. I don't know why I didn't, but... Okay. When it gets into the second stage and all those, you've seen those kind of magic attacks he was chaining together on you. Try doing that when there's like 5 of them doing it at the same time. You can see why it starts to get pretty frustrating. These guys, if the game doesn't totally freeze, here we go. These guys drop Twinkle and Titanite. Yeah, you can drop down here again. Careful when coming up here. You actually don't want to come up this way. This way just drops you down there behind her, and you don't want to do that. You want to come all the way up here. It's going to aggro. Okay, yep, that didn't work. Okay, we're going to do the tried and true method of just ignoring all the enemies right now. Let's go. That bleed spell is probably going to follow us and be a pain in the ass. But we're just going to ignore it and head straight for this blunt fire. Boom. We are now outside the Cathedral of the Deep, home to Aldrich. Aldrich, of course, being one of the Lords of Cinder that we need to take care of. Why am I flicking through this when you can just go down to the bottom? Playing Dark Souls 2 way too much again. Looking for Majula in that top left corner. So, the Crystal Sage, probably my most hated boss in the whole game, is dead. I can't believe it. That was a lot easier than it needed to be. Well, I wanted it to be, I guess. We've got a Estus Shard here to turn in, but we're going to check his soul first to understand more about these sages. Soul of a Crystal Sage. The twin Crystal Sages once served as spiritual guides to the scholars of the Grand Archives, and one went on to ally with the Undead Legion. So, with his proximity to Firing Keep and the Abyss Watchers, I think it's fair to say this guy is the guy who allied with the Undead Legion. And there's also more evidence towards that as well, because once we actually get further into the game, we're actually going to meet the other Crystal Sage, who isn't a boss, but is rather just a normal enemy. So, there you are. Here's what we can make with this soul from Ludleth. If you're a mage, you can make a spell, but I don't know if it's particularly good. You can make Crystal Hail. Unique sorcery developed by extraordinary creature twins known as the Crystal Sages. In a pact said to have been formed long ago, one of the sages allied with the Undead Legion in order to train the sorcerers of Farron. So of course they've got Farron Dart and stuff like that, and that's what those guys were using outside the boss room, excuse me. And that's where it came from. The Crystal Sages taught them everything they know. I find it quite interesting that it says it was a pact formed long ago and that one of the sages joined the Legion. So they were both at the Grand Archives. Somehow the Legion ended up at the Grand Archives, or the sages met them on the road and one joined with them, which means they must have had the blessing of Lothric, or one of the kings or royalty from the Kingdom of Lothric in order to do that. So there's a little bit of a connection here that still needs to be tied up, I think. Here we have the Crystal Sage's rapier, thrusting sword with tiny crystals scattered across its blade, used by the Crystal Sages for self-defense. The crystals boost the magic damage inflicted by the sword and the item discovery of its wielder, the fruits of a lifetime of research conducted by the sages. I bring this up because if you're not going to use the covenants in the PvP online to grind to complete covenants and get maybe all the achievements and trophies, or if you just want to get a particular item or spell, you'll need to grind items off normal enemies, and the drop rate for most of them is very low, and for some of them it's abysmally low, like almost impossible to get them sometimes. So if you're wanting some extra kind of item discovery, you can buy this rapier right here, and that'll boost your item discovery. So that's enough for now, Ludleth. Don't actually need your help because we're just going to eat the Crystal Sage's soul as revenge for him being the most frustrating boss in the game. I'm going to consume this as well. That's probably only going to get us probably 2 levels again, I'd imagine. Yeah, looks like it. I think we should put these 2 into Vigour, just to keep us alive a little bit longer.
Farewell, Ashen One, made of...
Now the next area we're going to go, let's see what time it is. We've got 18 minutes on the clock here, so still got about 7 minutes if I wanted to run about a 25-minute episode, something like that. Yeah. So we have 6,000 souls. Is there anything actually worth buying off of her before we go anywhere? We're going to push on to the next area. Did Grey Rat die? No, I don't think so. Did it return? Actually, we sent him away, didn't we? Is he back? Let's go speak to him.
Oh, and in one piece.
Yeah, so he did come back. Right. So here's the kind of things you can get. I'm actually just about to start a Glaive character. I did some kind of test recordings on it whenever I was starting up today to make sure that it all went according to plan. You can get this Zweihander here. And these, I think I did go over these actually at an earlier date. I can't remember, I've not been on this game in so long. I apologise for that. Yeah, because we bought the Thief Mask, I'm sure. So here's where you can get the Knight Armour, things like that. And some good parrying shields. So he's got nothing more to say to us right now. If you bring Orbeck back, by the way, you just keep talking to him once you get your 10 intelligence. He's going to pop up right there across some Cornix. And then you can speak to him and hand him your scrolls that you're going to pick up throughout the game to get more sorceries from him. For us, we're going to head to the next area, Cathedral of the Deep. And if you don't like ambushes, you're going to hate this area. I don't like ambushes, so yes, I hate this area. It's funny because it actually starts off immediately with an ambush. You see that guy up there, you're like, oh, I'm going to go kill that bandit guy. Let's go now. Don't do that. Come to the left and meet this guy, Mr. Dual Wielding Asshole Fallen Knight. I seem to go one of 2 ways with this guy. I either seem to wreck him or he wrecks me. I'd only recommend trying about 2 hits at a time on him. That's why, because he does that an awful lot and gets that counter damage on you. You got wrecked here because the Astora Straight Sword is just ridiculous. And we're going to get another set of ashes. This set of ashes is going to allow you to grab things like, I think it's, you know, like Lloyd's Talismans and things like that if you want to shut down mimics. And dual charms if you're going to be fighting in duels. It also gets you a ring, which increases your attack as long as you haven't taken damage. And there's also one you're going to find here. Oh wait, I think the one you get from the shop is one that increases your defense if you don't, while you're at full health. And then the one we're going to find here increases your attack. This guy's a little bit easier. Don't really need to worry about him all that much. When he pops you as a... I don't know what's up with the AI today. I'm getting away with it. Everyone's making poor AI choices. Spider Shield. Usually that guy pops his Warcry straight away and I'll knock you back and then I'll start whacking you with that axe. And it can be a bit problematic. Just keep your distance and try and work your way around him for a backstab or a parry if you're feeling kind of confident on that front. Up here we're going to get just the Crest Shield, I think. Yeah, the Crest Shield. This one has high magic resist, which is funny because it would have been useful 5 minutes ago. That's my main gripe with the Crystal Sage, I think, more than anything, is that you get no magic resist stuff like early on in the game, and literally after you kill him you get a magic resist shield. So this shield is better in like every way for us. I was making sure what else we've got. Let's get Twin Dragon Great Shield, that's quite cool. So we're going to pop this on. It doesn't do anything compared to the other Crest Shields. Well, only one Crest Shield actually does something now that I think about it. Pop an Estus here because the next bonfire isn't actually that far away from this location. As soon as you come in here, everyone's going to ambush you like hell. You've already survived one ambush, here's ambush part 2. You just want to kind of walk into this area and head for this trench. Again, no one is aggroing like they should be. There we go. There's one dog down. Just keep making your way around the back here. You can just ignore everyone if you want to. I don't know if you can really. Yeah, you can. Right, okay. Just making sure no dogs following us. This guy here, just keep your distance. Walk up until he aggroes. And then just walk back. He's going to chase you and try and explode on you. And he's not going to do a very good job of it. Now, as we head forward here, we're going to push forward into this church and claim our bonfire. We're being invaded. Oh, unbelievable. Right as we get to the bonfire too. We can light it, can't we? Good enough for me. Over... Well, I'll wait until we're finished this. There they are. Okay. Let's try this then. Let's see what you're made of. Oh. Being too aggressive here. No way, come on. Well, there you go, guys. Get the upper hand on an invader and that's what happens to you. Well, you're on YouTube at least, so no one's gonna forget that one in a hurry. Oh well, switch back to our Crest Shield and have a seat. I mean, I guess in a sense I did kind of R1 spam him, but it's the Astora Straight Sword doesn't really have a great varied moveset for you to take advantage of, so I'm just trying to make my way through the game. Here's a Notched Whip, classic item from Dark Souls 2 if you want to cut through some hollows. I can go through shields a little bit apparently. I'm really disappointed at that. I'd like to continue that fight. I mean, come on, if he'd got the upper hand on me, he'd expect me to stand there and die, so I would expect much the same. Why does that guy look like he's got Tears of Denial on? We're going to aggro him again, just so he's out the way and we don't even need to think about him. Back up. And goodbye. Okay. There's a trigger later in the game well, not later, later in this area, where an NPC is going to show up. Actually, you're probably going to see this here. So there's going to be a guy in this well. And if you're not too sure when he's going to spawn, whenever that guy who does his crazy suicide run, when he's not here anymore, when this area is totally clear, whenever you refresh at bonfire, that's when you know he's going to be there. But I'll point them out to you anyway. Just going to clear all these guys out and grab this shard. Checking my time, 25 minutes. We're going to run and grab an item or two, and then just head right back to the shrine. Once you enter this this graveyard, these guys are going to spawn. There's tons of them. They're not very strong. Don't worry about them too much. You can clear them out with a bunch of swings with your sword, and it's okay. If they do happen to get you, well, of course they don't really hit too hard, as you've seen there. Took 2 hits. Didn't really bother me too much. Astora Great Sword, sorry. Astora everything in this game, that's what it says. Dark Souls 3 Astora Edition. And then we want to pop down here and keep following this path around. They can spit maggots on you. Those maggots will inflict pretty much infinite bleed. It's like Frenzy was in Bloodborne. It's really annoying. It'll just keep building up and up and up, and once you get hit with bleed it'll start building up and up again. This is a trap if you can already tell. But we don't need to worry about that. So grab this, grab the Executioner's Great Sword, and back to the bonfire we go. So I'm going to show you a little kind of handy trick. This is why I bought the torch at the very beginning of the game. We're not going to go over, are we? Yes we are, we're putting the torch on. God damn. Time we ditch the helmet then, unfortunately. Let's see what the pike's like. Reasonable. I've heard it's a good weapon actually. I'll consider it. But the 2 weapons we're going to consider right now are Astora Greatsword and the Executioner's Greatsword. We don't have the strength for the Executioner's, but we're only 1 off it. Apparently it's pretty good. I've barely really used it. I've used it once or twice and do quite like it. Astora Greatsword is really good fun, and its special ability, that charge, hold sword at waist and charge at foe. If you use that on something like the Abyss Watchers, it literally just keeps knocking them down. You can stun lock them to death and make them an absolute trivial boss. It's pretty crazy. So let's see, this Greatsword bestowed only upon elite knights is a relic of the ruined land of Astora. Designed for a focus on thrust attacks, this sword is hard and sharp but not unusually heavy. Executioners. Greatsword of a debauched executioner used for beheadings. This sword retains a keen memory of executioner's duty and absorbs FP from each fallen foe. So there you go, if you're not looking to really run a lot of Ashen Estus, but you want to use abilities and stuff like that, you can get some FP back from that. The XL Greatsword's actually quite good fun as well. We definitely don't have the kind of strength for that to carry that though right now. So one thing we're picking up here, I don't know if I've covered it before, but it says the ruined land of Astora. I think it does say that. Astora before its fall was a land replete with royal blood, and this weapon is both a reminder and heirloom of that era. In Dark Souls 1, Astora was this really awesome place, and it was one of the places that wasn't really bothered by the undead curse. Guys like, I think Solaire was from Astora, maybe Oscar was also from Astora, and these were the 2 most heroic guys in the game. So Astora was this great place, and sadly by the time Dark Souls 3 runs around, it seems like it's just fallen apart, which is such a shame. Which is weird though, because places like Katarina and Karim seem to be doing just fine. Maybe there's a reason for it. Let's see if there's anything else for us to check. We haven't checked this. The lightest of all great shields made from wood and decorated with a 2-headed dragon. Great shields are the largest type of shield and offer both high stability and damage absorption, making it easier to deflect enemy attacks. Nothing to see there then. What about the crest shield? Yeah, so this one greatly reduces dark damage, as you can see, 86%. Again though, I think that's lower than everything else. I think if you grab like the fire crest shield and things like that, they actually all protect way more on their own specific element, but maybe I'm just talking crap. I think we've got a Estus shard, don't we? We have 2. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Estus in this game gets so powerful. I know I keep talking about this, but I was playing Dark Souls 2 on the PlayStation 4 the other night. I just bought it and decided to do a run through it. God damn, Estus does nothing in that game and it leaves you so exposed, and oh, it's just an absolute nightmare. Just thinking about something there, but never mind. Well, I think we're kind of done for the day. We've opened up the Cathedral of the Deep. Oh yes, that's what I was going to do. If you get covered with the maggots by either those guys in the graveyard or some of the maggot monsters later, and your bleed meter starts building up, switch to your torch, it'll get rid of them instantly and you can switch right back. That easy. We'll probably get hit with one and I'll be able to show you in greater detail once we go through, but for that reason I always equip a torch when I'm going into the Cathedral of the Deep. It's quite a long area. It should only take 1 episode to kind of cover the most of it of what we want to do right now. If not, then probably 2 will get everything covered, like every single kind of nook and cranny and side quest and that's involved in it. It's quite a big area. There's only that one bonfire in the chapel for us to use, so it really relies on you surviving long periods of time, hence why we've got heavy armour and 20 vigour. But we should hopefully be okay. I'm quite experienced at it by now. It just frustrates me and quite honestly bores me at times with the amount of ambushes and setups there are, and it just stands in your way and can be quite annoying. But anyway guys, I want to thank you for joining me here today. We didn't get a whole lot done. We killed the Crystal Sage super fast in one attempt, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. I didn't even think I'd be able to do that. But we did it. We made our way to the cathedral. We've got new ashes, but I'm going to wait to the next episode to work on those. So I'm just going to take a rest right about here. And until next time guys, stay kindled.